Hi everyone, it's Thursday the 17th of September. I hope you're all doing really well. We've finished our maths assessments for this week, so today we're all doing the reading assessment. Now this one is a big paper, both to do and to download as well. So if this is something you would like a paper copy of, make sure you get in touch, because this one you have to download the reading texts, which is a coloured document. It doesn't have to be coloured, you can do black and white, that's absolutely fine. A reading document which has got 3 stories in, and you have to, hopefully, you've not already had a little peek at those. And you also have to download the answer booklet as well. So you should have 2 booklets in front of you, one with the texts and one for you to write your answers in. Now the reading test is, wait for this, an hour long. You have to give yourselves a full 60 minutes, and that might seem like a massive amount of time, but believe me, you'll wish that you had more time than that. The reading test is the biggest one for us to kind of get prepared in terms of test technique, because you have to be really strict with your timing inside the test. So there are 3 different texts that you have to read. I can't remember off the top of my head what your titles are, so I'm going to look here. So you've got The Lost Queen, you've got Wild Ride, and you've got The Way of the Dodo. Those are your 3 texts, and ideally you're going to be looking to do 20 minutes on each. Now if you did 25 minutes here and then 20 minutes here and then 15 minutes here, that's absolutely fine. It will vary from person to person, but as a rough idea you're looking to do 20 minutes on each, and that includes reading the text and answering all the questions. And you've got to be really strict with yourself in terms of keeping going. If you phase off for a few minutes and stare out of the window, you're gonna run out of time. Now with these assessments, since they came in 2016, we've learned that it's really important to get to the end text and do as much as you can on the end. If you can finish the whole paper, perfect, but you've definitely got to get as close as you can to the end and see how many marks you can score on the end. The further you get through, then the more likely you are to get to some of those bigger mark questions, which will help you get the marks you need in order to pass the assessment. Now, if you do the first 2 texts really well, then you'll be absolutely fine. But it's always good to give yourself that little bit of breathing room and get to that 3rd text and do as much as you can. Obviously, by the end of year 6, we'll want everyone to get to the end, but we will have given you a bit more help and a bit more practice with that. So it is 50 marks in total, 50 marks for 60 minutes. The way people approach this test varies, but I think for now it would be best to go with the standard method of read the first text and then go to the questions and answer them. And then once you've finished the first text and the first set of questions, then read the second text. That's generally the way that works for most people. I wouldn't at this point recommend for you to jump straight into the questions and then try and read the text to find the answers, because what happens there is that you don't understand the full context of the piece. Read the questions really carefully, because actually the questions that most people trip up on are the easy who, what, where and why questions. Most of the time I see that when the question is asked, where does this happen, people tell me when it happened. Or if it says, why did this happen, someone tells me who did it. So it's really important that you read the question and make sure that your answer links to it. It's also really important that you look at the amount of marks available for each question. If it is a 1 mark question, then it just wants you to give the simple answer and move on. If it's a 2 mark question, it might be looking for 2 answers or an answer and an explanation, or an answer and a piece of evidence. It should tell you in the question. If it's a 3 mark question, we've not really looked at this yet, but we will in the future. It wants point evidence, point evidence. Give me an answer, show me a piece of evidence from the text. Give me an answer, show me a piece of evidence from the text. What I want you to do is just answer these questions to the best of your ability, just like in the maths assessment. If you have a go, then you might get a mark. If you completely miss it out, then you're definitely not going to get a mark. With the reading assessment as well, it's important that you're aware of how much time you're spending on a question. If you are desperately searching for a question and you realise you spent 5 minutes on one question, it might be worth to circle it and come back to it later on. Finally, always remember that generally the questions happen in chronological order in terms of where they appear in the text. So for example, your first question will normally be about something that's towards the beginning of the text, and then it works down, and then the last few questions on a text will normally be about the whole thing. So use that to really help you jump straight to where you think the question answers might be. I lied, this is the last thing. You can annotate all over your text if you want to. So if you want to be making underlinings and circlings and little notes about what you find as you're reading, then you absolutely can do. So that's all my advice for this assessment. If you need any help, you can email us before you start, or after you finish the assessment. If you want to talk through anything, again, you can email us then as well. Hope that this one goes really well for you, and hope you're not getting yourself too worked up about it. It's nothing to be panicked about. Tomorrow is going to be our last assessment, so we can see the end is in sight. See you later, everyone.